Hello, hello. Let's see that everything works before we officially start. I can see the chat and yeah, this good, this good, this good. So yeah, it's my day off as per usual. So here we are. I have pastries, I have coffee, and I have 2 liters of water. So I'm prepared this time, and we can do this for as long as we want to. This is the project, the Christmas gift project. I've been doing for a couple of months already, on and off. And to be honest, 2 months has gone by and the Christmas is less than 2 months away, which means that I do have to, work a little bit more on it so I can get it ready on time. We are in row, we've done 120 and the next one is 121 and we need 300 done, so we are a little bit behind the schedule at the moment. So I was thinking about that I should do at least 10 rows today, and every day I don't work, and an odd row here and there, and then it should be ready by Christmas. It's for my daughter, so even if it's not ready, it's not the end of the world, but I would like to give her this present for Christmas. And yeah, the project is looking good, the flowers are looking good, the text is coming up. It's a Fleetwood Mac logo album cover, some of them their own designs. So that is what we are doing, and yeah, I think we're just gonna dive in. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer with my best capabilities. But this is my first tapestry project ever, and as I am who I am, I took a big one for the first project. I did the pixel work for it myself. That one wasn't ready, but that's not hard. But it's not a I don't think anyone has ever made this before, so it's a first of its kind type of thing. So the basics, what we're doing is we are using cotton yarn. It's from Hobby and it's cotton 8/4. The weight is number 1 super fine, so it's very super fine yarn. It's still gonna be quite a huge tapestry because we are doing 300 rows and 260 stitches wide, so yeah, there's quite a lot to do. Hello, how are you today? So the row always starts with the white because I have white borders in this work. I have a lot of other white parts as well, and then we have the black in the middle. I'm doing a tapestry, so it's gonna be, it's like a poster but made out of yarn, and this particular one is a Fleetwood Mac tapestry. It's for my daughter. It's gonna go up in her room on her wall. She chose the picture herself and I just modified it a little bit so that we can actually use tapestry to do it. Thank you for the subscription. Always appreciated. So this is approximately 80,000 stitches we are doing with this one, so it's a lot of work. But I like this type of projects that are a challenge, because without a challenge I don't have the motivation to do it. One thing I've learned along the way is that I don't want to do projects that have a lot of black, because with black yarn it's very hard to see the stitches, and especially this black yarn I'm using is tricky to work with. I don't like it. Maybe with some bulkier yarn the black is okay, but with the very fine yarn it's annoying. I actually lost a couple of stitches along the way, so I have to trace back the mistake I made, and the mistakes were always in the black section of the work, every single time. I was getting ready to stream. I did the pastries in my air fryer. I did a huge cup of coffee, and it won't get cold because it's in thermos, so I have a lot of coffee to go on with. And at the moment we are finishing the pink flower. The pink flower has been my favorite. For some reason the colors work really well. I show you a bit closer look. So it's this one has been my favorite for the whole project. I like it too. Thank you, Rachel. I think it's gonna be very good. And I just hope that my teenager will continue to like Fleetwood Mac, so that it's not just a phase. To be honest, I wasn't figuring out Tapestry either at first, and then I realized that I don't have to follow all the instructions. There were so many different ways of doing it, and going back and forth, and I was so lost. I just didn't realize what I was doing and why I was doing it. And what I did is that I started just testing. I did little patches of work and just tested different techniques I found on YouTube. And then I found this one, which is only crocheted from right to left. So I don't have to go back and forth, and I always crochet the right side up, which means that all of the end of the yarns are automatically on the back side. And it helps me so much to understand what I'm doing, that I find this the easiest way of doing it, because for some reason, when I go back and forth, I just don't get the count right, like ever. And then it looks stupid. But with this, it's easier for me to understand. and I chose this the best way to do this project. And I'm not sure if it fits all the projects, but especially these large ones, it fits very well. And also because I only have the right side of the work up, I don't have to, and this is going to wall, so I don't have to carry. So it's ugly on the other side. I show you, it's very ugly. This is the wrong side, but when you're doing like tapestry, this will be against the wall, so nobody's gonna see it. My plan was to just hang it up and see, like, if it doesn't bother me and you don't see it like in any way through the work, then I will just leave it like this. If I need to clean it up, I'll probably use a backing or something like that, but for now this is what it is. And if I was to do back and forth, I would have a lot more cleaning to do. So I don't carry, I float short distances, and if the distance is too long, I just cut it and reattach it. So there's a lot of yarn and there's a lot of floating going on. So I try to, I have this rule like that I don't float more than 10 stitches, because then it starts to like bunch up the work. Sometimes I break that rule, but that's the that's the basic rule of me doing this, is that only float if there's 10 stitches between the colors or less. Then I don't have to cut the yarn so much. And yeah, I think you should try. Like, for me it works. Of course, the other downside is that you have a lot of ends on the left and right side of the project, because you of course cut the yarn every time and reattach it at this end and cut it on the other end. This pattern is it's a logo. It's Fleetwood Mac logo, and of course I didn't make the logo, but I did make the chart out of it, yes. But it was very easy to make. I used stitch fiddle to do it, and then I just made it a bit better than it originally was. So more suitable, a little less colors than it was telling me to use, just to keep it a bit more simple. Yeah, the only thing I find, let me say, wrong with stitch fiddle is that the colors, when you put in the picture you want to do, the colors it chooses, those are not correct. They are like, I was trying to have I wanted to do a smaller one with a pansy in it, and it was like a purple, dark purple pansy, and all the colors the stitch fiddle chose for me were gray. Gray and brown. So I ended up changing all the colors anyway, but at least you get the outlines of the work correct that way. I need another yellow. But in general, it works. Like, it does what I want it to do. I use it quite a lot. Sometimes I just plan, and the plan never comes to real life, but I like it, and I'm kinda hooked to tapestry at the moment, as I found my way of doing it that fits my like way of doing things in general. So I want to do more. But the next time I will probably choose something a bit smaller. Just to have something ready as well. Because this takes a lot of time in this scale. I am living in Ireland at the moment. Help boom. I am from Finland originally though. Yeah, I have to pop into your live as well. I don't make plushies. I've made some amigurumis, but mostly out of cotton yarn. I find the thank you for the follow. The plushie yarn to be hard on my hands for some reason. It just feels, I know weird is not the right word, but it just doesn't work for me for some reason. I think I have too tight tension, so I keep breaking the yarn and the end result is not what I want. So all the chenille and blanket yarns, I just don't use them. I gave up on it. Totally gave up. Yeah, that's what I mean. I have too much power. That must be it. Too much power. This part of the work is just black and yellow with the text. Which makes the work usually a bit faster than it would otherwise be. There were some sections where I had like 20 pieces of yarn attached to the work. It was down where I had like maybe 4 flowers coming up together, and that was a little bit of a mess. But I got through it. Also, when you work only right to left, you don't end up with a mess of yarns. You usually end up, when you do back and forth, where you have to change the order of the yarns because you flip the work. So you flip all the yarns you have connected like these ones. I know it looks messy, but they are not tied to each other. There's no knots or anything, so it's just freely going around. Which actually reminds me that I can cut the pink away because I don't need it anymore. Because we finished the pink flower. So the yellow yarn is much more visible than the black one, so it's easier to work with. I also do, this is not mandatory, but it worked better for this design because I made one of the flowers as a test piece. So I only use back loop, so back loop only, and yarn under just to make it tight. Seemed nicer in the test pieces. You could just do normal single crochet all the way. The page and the cardigan jumper, you made it so beautiful. Is that the one I made for my younger child? The one with the pink and the green ones? That was a lot of work. I will never do it again. Yeah, it was. I made it. There's this, I think it's Danish store in the city center called Søstrin Green, and they had this very soft wool yarn, unspun, and I picked that one because the colors were so pretty and it was so soft, and it was 100% wool, and oh my god, it was pain to work with. It was pain. I think I have some of that yarn still somewhere. Do I? I do. So it's like this one. And this was also so fragile. It's very fluffy, it's super warm, and she loves it. But that was one of the things that I said to myself that I should have tested with a little smaller piece before I committed to that one, because this was yeah, it's super soft. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest. I have like two balls left. Maybe something nice, but it was pain. Pain from start to end. But it's pretty. It's so pretty, and she loves it. She calls it toasty because it is so warm. And the yarn is like good quality, not just maybe the one that you should choose for that type of project. Or you should if you're up for challenge. I'm usually up for challenge, but maybe I should choose a bit smaller challenges sometimes. I was thinking about making a balaclava out of the rest of the yarn, but then I realized I don't have enough, and then I realized I don't wanna buy more. So I will do the balaclava she's been requesting with something else. Do you do the plushies and stuff just for yourself, or do you sell them also? Yeah, me too, me too. I've seen a lot of videos about people doing them for sale and doing markets and stuff like that, but I don't have the time to mass produce anything. But I find it interesting that some people make a business out of it. Yeah, I think I would get bored at some point if I had to make the same item like 20 times. That's totally not for me. Like, not at all. The only thing I make more than one time is socks. Everything else, I want to be a unique project. Which is crazy as well, but But that's why I think I will like Tapestry. Oh, I made one yellow too much. Tapestry, because it will be the same process, but it's gonna be a different colors of yarn and different pictures every time. So I hope that like helps. So I can keep doing these pieces. So far I have plans to do at least one other. I need orange for the orange flower. I hope so. Because I've been doing this for so many hours that if it doesn't look good, I'm gonna be devastated. I'm gonna be so broken that and I'm never gonna touch a hook again if that's not pretty. Someone is texting me. Nice. And also working from right to left, I don't have to calculate so much. I can just check that I had orange in this part of the work last round, and now I know that I have to make the orange at the same place. So it also makes it a bit easier, because I hate the counting part when it comes to crochet, because you have to, you know, count everything. That's different from knitting, where I don't have to count much because you have a certain amount of stitches and it's very hard to create more out of thin air. But unfortunately for me, I'm very good at creating stitches in crochet out of thin air. Not a problem at all. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And usually if I make a mistake in crochet, it's because I calculated something wrongly. That's the reason, like 99% of the time. Me and math. Come on. Oh, thank you so much for the hearts. I always say that me and all the crafts, that it truly, like, usually everything I do is worth it, even if it's not a success, or even if I don't finish the work. This is like a therapy for me. I just like it, and I like to learn new things, and I always learn something new when I start a new project, even though I've done it for like, I don't know, 20 years at least, even more. It's still like there's still something new to learn. And I was thinking about that I may be next double on the Tunisian crochet, which is something I have never ever tried. I didn't even know existed before. Like I saw it on TikTok, of course, TikTok, and checked YouTube, and it seemed very interesting. It was part of the I think the hobby Christmas calendar as well, but I didn't order that. I don't know if they still have it, but the other projects were not so interesting, so I skipped it this year. Last year it was good. I had so many projects waiting to happen, and this one waiting to be done, so I thought that it might not be very wise to get 4 to 5 mini projects. It's very pretty, and it was interesting how differently you can use it, and how it mimics a little bit like the knitting, but still not the same. And I also like that when you've done it for so long, you notice that there are like trends going around, like, and I'm not ashamed of jumping on a trend. Like I saw that the people are doing tapestry again, and I was like, yeah, me too. Let's do it. I'm gonna do it too. I do also knit, but to be honest, my knitting skills are mediocre at best. So I've done much more crochet, and the crochet skills I like to think I have is I can actually randomly create stuff with crochet without needing any instructions. So I keep think that is like the skill level I have with crochet. With knitting, I find it more suitable for things like socks, mittens, and stuff like that, and I use it for that as well. And I sometimes make beanies and you know, things that maybe need a bit more stretch than I'm able to create with crochet. But everything else I crochet. So I have one very bulky long sweater coming, which will be made with knitting, because once again my daughter wanted to be quite tense, so there's no holes and stuff, so it's actually warm. That one I will be knitting as well, but I need the instructions. I can't create with knitting. That's not the skill level I have, so I am forced to use patterns made by others to make sure that it is what it should be. And I also don't know many special stitches or techniques when it comes to knitting. So, and for some reason when I start a new project I usually take the hook first. So oh, no, you're not distracting. It's more like I'm here so you can distract me from the reality that I'm working. If you know what I mean. So I'm working more by accident. There's weird sounds coming from outside. I have my office / bedroom towards the road outside our house, and I have to say that very interesting sometimes happens on that way. Yeah, I love it too, and every time I have a moment I usually jump in someone's live as well to distract them. I do have to say that I use YouTube a bit more than I use TikTok, because someone has ruined, my kids has ruined my TikTok algorithm, so it shows me mostly things that I'm not interested in. So I really have to look for the crafting part of the TikTok, like search for it. What project do you have? Hi, Jaina. In progress at the moment. You fully converted to Christmas project or still doing some autumn stuff? I have to say I'm a little disappointed of myself because I did very little like pumpkin stuff or anything like that this year for some reason. So now that we finished the round, what I will do and do every round is that I will cut the yarn that will not stay in place. That means black and white that will start over from the other end. And I will just make nothing more than a knot between two yarns that are nicely close to each other. If there's nothing, I don't do even a knot, but I like to think that they stay secured that way. That's all I do. I'm not planning on weaving these. 6-day star blanket. What are you crocheting? The 6-day star blanket is also in my to-do list. I want to do actually 2 of those for both of our recliners in the living room. I want 2 of them because our recliners are ugly and I want to cover them. I'm making a tapestry. So this is gonna be like a poster in my daughter's room. It's a Fleetwood Mac tapestry, which we are closing the midway. Like this is 300 rows and we have done now 121. So we still have some things to do. But I'm confident I'm gonna finish it until Christmas if I don't get distracted by other projects. I have a scrap yarn project going on, which is something I just do out of, it's made of sunburst squares, so I just do that whenever I have spare time of like 15 minutes and I have yarn and hook with me, like waiting the pasta to boil or something like that. And I think that's about it at the moment. I have surprisingly little work in progress at the moment. Blue and pink. Just to give it a try, I'm gonna do it again. I've seen those and I think they are all very, very, very pretty. For some reason it's the pattern is working very well with all the different colors and yarns people are using. And it also seems like that the kind of project, again, so it's just sit in front of TV and do it. I may be missing one of those projects after this one. This is a part where I have the yellow flowers starting. So I have light yellow and dark yellow here, and because the yellow parts will grow upwards, I will leave all the yarns connected. So I can just keep working when I come to the same spot. So I don't cut all the yarns. So these yarns will be continuing up from the work. So I will just leave them here and use them again. So that will make a little less knots to be made. And it just decreases the risk of unraveling the work. I don't think that the risk is very big with this one. It's actually very small because it's not one of those projects you are washing in a washing machine or anything like that. So it's just should stay in the wall. And nobody should take it down unless we're moving, so... yeah. I was also thinking, I don't do much seasonal stuff, but it would be nice to, like, that kind of, like, project would be nice to make in Christmas colors as well. The older I become, the more I like Christmas stuff. Which makes no sense, but I do. Like decoration-wise especially, and craft-wise. Do I have any other loose ends? No, I think that's it. Should have white somewhere. Yeah, that's cool. What's your favorite colors? If you would have picked your favorite colors, what would be the color of the blanket? I'm definitely a black and dark colors type, but when it comes to crochet, like I said, I hate using black yarn because the visibility is so bad that it annoys the hell out of me. If you want to test this, Rachel, this technique, so because you are working only from right to left, so you are losing one stitch at the end of the work every round, so you have to add one here when you start, so that's how it stays straight, otherwise it will be leaning very heavily to the left. So I will always, when I attach the yarn, I will chain one to have the extra stitch, so it will keep straight. Mathematically, I don't know how that works, but it works. So I just attach the yarn and then I chain one, and that's it. Then I keep going. And that keeps the number of the stitches the same. And the line straight. I had to learn that. With my test piece. I really like black too. Yeah, I'm only working in back loop only. So I wanted to create, so I did like a test piece out of one of the flowers, and I tested the whole stitch like just single crochet, but for some reason, this is not a technical reason at all, but I liked this one more. And also when I did the test piece, I wanted to have the flowers a certain size so that I could be sure that, because this is a circle in the middle of this work, that it will be a circle, not, you know, stretched in any way. So I made two test pieces, and the one I did with single crochet, it ended up being longer than I wanted it to be. So the flower wasn't like this, it was more like this. So it would have distorted the whole thingy. And of course, I never done this before, so I don't know how it ends up in the end, but so far it looks that it was the correct choice to make. Oh no. I have a grid, like a stitch fiddle chart in front of me on my computer, which has I made the chart because otherwise I would be so lost about the colors and the letters and stuff, so I wouldn't get them right at all. But I did have to make it myself, the chart, because there wasn't one readily available. There usually isn't if you want to do a certain thing. But Stitch Fiddle was very helpful with creating this one. No. I think one could freehand something like this, but if I didn't have a certain goal, I could, but because this is very specific, trust me, for a teenager, it's very specific. She even wanted to pick the colors herself so that I don't get it wrong. Like, you know, there is a lot of different yellows, so must be correct one. She's also a very precise person, so she hexed the colors and then checked the hex color chart for the yarn and went from that. So, but the colors are fine. She made the right call. For me, for the orange, I would have picked something a little more subtle. This is a bit Halloween-y for my liking, but that's how it is in the logo, so that's what it is. I would have liked to have more earthy color for this one, maybe. Oh, she did. She definitely did. And all mom has to do is execute the order. She is thankful though. I made many tops for her during the summer. Apparently crochet tops are trending as well. Thanks for dropping by. I have to remember to follow you back, guys, when I end the stream, so I can check what you are doing. Always gives me like inspiration to see what others are doing. Actually, most of my work start with me seeing something the others are doing, and then I'm like, I want to do that too. Mostly it's something similar, not necessarily the exact same thing, but like I saw Tapestry and I was like, I want to do Tapestry. And that's what we're doing now. But it's been a bit of a roller coaster with this one. First I did it like, I said I do at least one row every day, you know, just to keep up the work. And then I did quite a lot at the start, and I got totally fed up with this at some point. Took a break for a couple of weeks. Did the jumper for my other daughter, the younger one. And that ended up being 4 weeks instead of 2 weeks, like I first thought. Then I came back to this. Yeah, I do take breaks, and sometimes they end up being final breaks. But it is what it is. I don't mind. I do have unfinished work that I don't have any intentions to finish anymore. It's just my way of doing it. If I don't finish it, it wasn't interesting enough, or I didn't need it bad enough. And if I have something nicer to do, why not do it? So I don't blame myself for. I have I started a project which is still, I haven't unraveled it or anything. I haven't scrapped it yet at this point. It was for the summer. It was a beach cover-up for myself, which I didn't finish. I have like, it's made out of granny squares, the very basic ones. I don't know if you can see, here is my pile of granny squares, and it was like, I think it was 86 or something I needed, and I have like 80 done. So it's just missing 6. But the missing squares are not the problem. The problem is that I should weave in the ends of all of those, which I don't feel like doing. And the summer is past now, so it might be next summer before I actually pick it up again. But I learned from that project that it's better for me, now I mix the yarns, to actually weave in the ends as I go, because if I don't, this will be the end of the project for most granny square projects. So when I did the jumper, I weaved in the end after every square I did, so I didn't have the problem, so I could just go straight to joining. And now that I'm doing the scrap yarn project with the sunburst square, I'm also joining them right away, so I don't have to do that either. So just getting better and better. Like that's a like complete color blast. Oh, I have it somewhere. This has all the colors. This is all the ends of the yarns I have, all the little skeins. I know! But this is like, because I weaved in the ends and I joined them. There's nothing. The only things I have to weave in at the very end are these, which I used for joining. So, and I could even weave in those as I go, but like there's nothing. So this is getting done quite fast. Somehow feels easier. But it's still unpleasant. I have to force myself to do it. But I assume that's like it for most of us. I would suspect you're a psychopath if you like me in the end, to be honest. Because no one does. Just 2 white ones. No. Three, 4, and 5. We are in row 122. Honestly, the amount of hours this takes, I calculated with my daughter, because I wanted to teach her the worth of things, you know, you made by hand, just to make sure she understands. It's not just poof, it comes out of the air when I do it. And we calculated the amount of time it takes for me to do this. And I'm not very intensively doing it or trying to be fast or anything like that. But it came out that I should have a full month's pay for doing this, because that's the amount of hours it will take to finish it. So it would be somewhere around 2,500 to 3,000 euros at least, and that would be on the lower end of, you know, what people get paid. So yeah, it's 300 rows. 300. I'm not desperate yet. I'm gonna make it, but at some point I felt like I don't know if I wanna even try. You know, like I tried, can I give up now? But not giving up. It's gonna be fine. Just takes a lot of time. But if I wasn't doing this, I would be doing some other crafts, so I could as well do this one. Yeah, almost halfway. And as well with this one, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these edges. I'm just gonna see how they look on the wall. They might be just fine like that. I just cut them at the same length, or I hide them at the back of the work. Perhaps. Don't know yet. But I don't have much work after it's actually, you know, after I finish crocheting it, it's done. So I don't have to do any cleanup or stuff like that. There are crazy people who try to weave in the ends as well, but I'm not one of those, so. If I was to make tapestry for, let's say, like household items or stuff like that, I would be more likely to use some other technique. If I was to make like towels or something that would need to look nice on both sides, then I would probably test out the intarsia crochet I saw when I was researching the techniques. I didn't take a deep dive, so if someone is asking how to make it, I don't know. I just saw it, and it was a way of doing tapestry so that both sides of the work were nice and presentable. Would be nice for towels and stuff like that. Maybe curtains. I have tied them. I don't know if I will even cut them, depending, like when I put it on the wall. This is quite thick because it's made with 3mm hook, even though it's fine yarn. So I don't think that you are able to see through the ends of the yarns in any way. I think it will sit on the wall just fine. So I don't think I will even cut them. Just the side ones. Yeah. Maybe. I'm also a person that sometimes uses textile glue because I'm lazy. So I put just a drop of glue wherever I attach the yarn, and yeah, it works. I wouldn't use it on clothes, but with this type of project, I could secure all the ends with just glue. Yeah, it works. Highly recommended. Absolutely. Like, I use it a lot in like, if I do like pillowcases or stuff where the ends are actually inside the pillow. You know, you don't see them, and I don't want to weave them in, so I just put a dab of glue to keep them in place. I have all the best tips for lazy people. Because I am one of them. My first child is home. I heard the door. We have a short school day on Wednesdays for some reason. And again, the middle part of the work is just black and white. did I say white? I meant yellow. Oh, but that's better. Friday would be much better, especially for a teenager. They would appreciate that more. It's been Wednesday here since the very beginning. Even if I had half days at work, I would choose Friday. Every time. You live in Ireland too, right? I think I saw that. Don't know if it's like a thing that school decides or if it's something else. I live in Cork myself. Okay, maybe it's a county thing. Might be. I should take a road trip with the family and sometimes. To be honest, it's when you have kids and a full-time job and a husband with a full-time job and another kid, and it's even though Ireland is not a very big country, we've been visiting other places way too little. So we've been to North, and I mean North. We lived in Belfast for some time. Then we came to South. We've been to Dublin, but everything else we haven't much explored. Well, that would do it. I would like that. There's no trouble in my job. Though it could be rough at times as well, I imagine. A pharmacy, stock taker. That's interesting. So they don't take their own stock, so you go in and do it. They have a lot of farmer jobs here as well. A lot of long drives, yeah. Unfortunately, you can't crochet while you drive. I always try to take a bus or a train if I go further, so I can, you know, crochet. Or plane. To be honest, I kinda hate driving in Ireland. You guys are crazy. Oh, well, that's okay then. That's okay then. It took time to get used to the traffic being on the wrong side of the road. Had to be careful even when walking, so I was looking at the right direction. It felt so weird. So weird. At first. Now I think it would feel weird to drive back in Finland. Might take some time to adjust to that as well now. We've been here for a while. First you drive 15 years in the right hand side of the road and then you suddenly start driving. Oh no, yeah, it's been... I'm used to it now, the whole thing. I remember to look at the right way and I remember to drive the correct way to a roundabout, but yeah. Hi. All good? Making your tapestry. No. There are pastries in the freezer. Make your own. Remember to eat something first. Black. I will definitely post a video or 10 of them when this is done. Thank you. Have a great day yourself too. Some white. It's only black and white now. for the rest of the work. Round, not work. Oh, we're starting the new yellow stretch. We're starting the Fleetwood text that will go over the Mac text right here. So Mac and then Fleetwood will be like this. Nice! New part of the work. So where is my second yellow? To be honest, the price of the yarn for this project is absolutely nothing. So this is a very affordable yarn I'm using. It's the Hobby Friends cotton, and the amount I had ordered is way too much because I had no idea how much it will take because there's no like pattern for it, so it's just testing. So I just ordered enough, let's say that, and half of it will be left over. Now that we are closing the halfway mark, I already know that how much there will be left, and what will be left is half of the yarn, which means that I paid around 70 euros. It wasn't even that, I had other things for too. I had the twister skein as well, and that was like 9 euros, so it was like 65 euros for the yarn because you get discount when you order more of them, and half of that will be unused, so we will end up somewhere between 30 and 35 euros for the materials in case you have the hook already. And I don't think that's bad at all for a crochet project this big. Usually I spend a lot on yarns, so this is just labor intensive work with this one more than affordability issues. Steal the white yarn from the beginning. So we can finish the round, and we will take some coffee, some pastries, maybe some water, and get ready for another 2 rounds, 2 rows actually, for this tapestry. And I can also show you where we stand at the moment with the work, how it looks at this very moment, and how much do we still have to do, which is a lot, but it is what it is. I do have to do some cleaning today as well. I've been avoiding that a lot, like a lot, because that is the one thing I actually hate in life, is cleaning. If I had the money, or I wasn't this cheap, I would, the first thing I would do is to hire a housekeeper. Cleaning is something I feel like I'm never catching up. Which is of course true, because you have to clean the same things over and over again. I've tried all the lists and stuff like that, but I'm very bad at forcing myself to do things that I don't want to do in that moment. So I don't follow the list I do. I make others follow it though. So I also make a list for my husband and kids. So, but without those lists, they would probably do nothing. So it's justified. Here we are. I have some Danish pastries waiting for me. Made in an air fryer. Bought it from Aldi freezer. It's actually quite good, but I made it in air fryer and it works. Just 2 minutes less than in an oven, and it's good. So we can see here is the M and the A, and the C is getting done as well. And now we're starting the F here. So we can have Fleetwood and Mac both there. Let's see if there are any news. Trump won the presidential race. That's probably all the news. Let's finish this round by cutting some yarn, making some knots. And then we are ready to do 2 more rounds for this beast of a work. This will stay and this we will cut and transfer to the other side of the orange flower. This is a fun phase of the work because we only have few colors attached. We have mostly just black and yellow and some orange. So at some points we had like all of the colors attached, and at that point there's a lot of yarn in front of me. Right now there's not so many. Which is also fine because that means that it doesn't get tangled. So we're doing row 123 next. Let's see if I still need the white one. I do. And then I need an extra white one. Oh, not this round, next round, okay. To go around the flower as well. The pink flower is now completely finished. The yellow flower is still on the way to be done, and therefore we will leave all the yarns untouched. This is the last one we're gonna... Thank you for the likes, Jane. Well appreciated. And that's about it. And now we are going to start again with the white one. So row 1, 2, 3, which is almost, and not even close at the same time, the halfway mark. We are starting the row with the slip knot, which I do so weirdly compared to many others that I will not teach you to do it this way. I was taught the way by my grandmother 20 years ago. It's not the easiest, it's not the most reliable, and it's not really, there are easier ways to do it, so. Which just serves as an example that I'm not perfect. So whatever you are doing at the moment is a good way of doing it if it serves the purpose. And let's take a close-up for the work as well. So you can see what I'm doing. Row 1, 2, 3. Let's tackle this beast as well. I forgot to cut the yellow yarn, but I will cut it once we reach the point where we're gonna need it. Happens sometimes. Don't take it too seriously with this one. I also have more yellow available in case I need it, and I will also use the rest of the yarn which is left over from this project, and there's gonna be quite a lot, for my scrap yarn project that I'm working on. I'm gonna make a border out of them for the blanket. Then we can plan the next tapestry project and order yarn for that. I want to do something a bit smaller scale next, something that will be ready, something that is like maybe 50 rows at most, 50 times 50 at most, because I feel like that would be the appropriate like 2-week project type of thingy. I might as well do it with a full proper single crochet rather than back loop only. Maybe. No promises on that one though. I kind of fell in love with this way of working the Tapestry project, so it might be that I use this one for the following 10 projects and then I get tired of it and pick up something else for the next one. And I swear to God, I'm not doing black in my next project. Which is funny for me to say that because I already designed one that was fully black. But I'm not gonna do it. I know better now to not do it. It's one of those, don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot, let it go. It's pretty, but you don't want to do it. This has a lot of black here in the middle section, but luckily after that there will be very few black spots, and those work out very well because there's only like 1 or 2 stitches, so you're not gonna miss it. But if you do like 30 black stitches, and you really have to count, because even though I thought that I picked up every single black one, I've been losing stitches, and when I trace back my work, it's always been the black section where I missed the stitch. So that resulted me to count all of the black parts I'm doing, even though I don't count the rest of the work anymore, because everything is in place, so I can put the right colors in right places just by comparing them to the work from previous round. Sometimes I do some calculations just to check that I'm on track, but usually no. What is meant to be is meant to be. It's not a kind of work that is that shows mistakes very easily if you don't make like a really visible mistake where you put some orange where there should be pink, but that's not a likely mistake for you to make because it would look wrong immediately. So if you miss one stitch here and a second there, you know, put one black too much or too little at some point, it really, nobody is gonna see it in the final products. Just make sure that you know that and take it on count on the next round, so you don't keep pushing the mistake up the work, because at some point you will have to pay for that. So one single mistake in one single row doesn't matter, but in a big picture you just have to know you made it and then rectify it in the next round. Otherwise you might start a flower in a wrong spot, which then would be in a wrong place, which then would lead the next section to be in a wrong place, and so on, and that could multiply along the way. So that's why I recommend to do some calculations along the way. I am so familiar with this design at this point because I made it myself, that it really isn't a problem. I know where things should be, but if you were to make this or something similar, I recommend to make sure you know where you are and where you're supposed to be in the chart, and not trust yourself too much with the placement of the colors. And we are adding another orange, or it's not orange, it's dark yellow, the color called, but for me it's orange. Especially compared to the actual yellow I have with it, it looks just orange. And I'm adding it because we are heading to the middle section of the yellow flower, which means that the flower part will be separated to left and right side of the work. And now I have yellow and dark yellow in both sides of the work, so I don't have to cut the yarn. I can just keep on doing that upwards with the yarns. If you only had two skeins of, you know, one of yellow and one of the dark yellow, you would need to cut the yarn on every round, and I prefer not to in places where I can. So we need 7 black ones. And that's a calculation mistake. Let's get back. We actually needed 2 dark yellow ones. And this is what I meant. It looks wrong and you doubt it, then you calculate. And then 7 black ones. I could have kept going. It would not have been a problem. The only thing I would have to remember is that we're making a mistake. So next time I'm at the same spot, I need to remember that this is black when it should be dark yellow. So I will put right correct in its place so that I don't keep doing the mistake round after round after round. But it's really, really, really seriously forgiving way of doing this. So I've corrected mistakes with just one stage that I made like 20 rounds ago. Again, 7 black ones. So 1. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6 and 7. And now we will need the yellow yarn. I said I forgot to cut, so I'm going left to the camera to cut the yellow one. Make a fast knot to it so it won't run away. And then we will attach it here and start the lettering part with the black and yellow. So we're doing the Fleetwood Mac text here. This is just 3 yellow ones at this point. And then some black. There are some longer stretches without black, which means that we are cutting the black and not floating it on the back of the work because it will not look good. Now that we have more of the letters here coming together. And there's also a mistake somewhere right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I did it last round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's correct. Well, we'll see. I will check this next round because now I think I have one yellow too much, but the black needs to be in line. Otherwise, we will miss the shape. Of the C. And we can't do that. So if there is a mistake, I've made it earlier and I will fix it after we finish the MAC of the Fleetwood Mac. A bit more light here, I presume. Now you can see better. And I can see better as well. We'll cut the black one because that's way too long to float. I have over 20 stitches there, so I will cut it and reattach it. Because if I just float it, it is very easy to create a punched up section if you float it too tight. And if it's not tight enough, which is the other option, you will end up with loose stitches in both ends of the floating, and that can also be visible with the work. So I avoid doing that. And that was only 2, not 3. So let's do that again, 2 black ones. And someone is texting me. I have to check out who it is. We have another stretch of a lot of yellow. Two. And that's again too long to float, so we are cutting the yarn again. There's a lot of yellow at the moment. And attaching black one. And heading to the orange flower. Orange yarn. Let's fish it out. There it is. One, two. And this orange flower at this point, when the center is already done, is just black and orange going back and forth. So 6 black ones. I usually cut both black and the orange yarn for this flower because it is so wide that I do have to start with both yarns from the beginning, so I can't really have any floaters with this flower. And then 1 black and 4 orange ones. Also, when I count, I check that the stitch hits the spot that it should hit. So I'm checking the last round from the chart I have to see that if there's just one orange one, that it will fall on orange stitch as it should, or a black if it should land on that one. So that makes it a bit easier to stay on top of the calculations and the graph in general. Then some white one, and we are ready for a break after this one. So I will have some more coffee because I totally need it. And I'm gonna go and check that all is good with my older daughter to say that she is leaving for the drama class. And has everything she needs, and then we'll be back. I said I'm gonna do 10 rows, so that's what I'm gonna do. Because I have to. Because according to my calculations, I don't have too many days off between this day and Christmas. And if I do 1 row per day, I will not be ready when Christmas comes by. White. Till the end. I'll be downstairs in a minute. 190 degrees cake setting, and it was 20 minutes. Last one. Put a little BRB message. Miss me, or you will miss me, but I'll be back in a minute. Just if I can do this, I'm not sure. Text. BRB 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yep, I'm gonna take a break. You can watch this nice picture for a moment. I'll be right back. Have fun. I also need my phone. Alrighty. We can continue. Just a little coffee. And then we can go again to round 1, 2, 4. This is the last round I'm gonna do on the live. And then we will be back. I think I might have a day off on Sunday. Maybe. There's been some sick leaves at work. I've been covering. Taking some extra shifts for some Christmas money. Some overtime and stuff. Which is nice. I don't mind. We'll nicely get them to my paycheck before Christmas. Helps with the expense, even though we do not usually have any extravaganza Christmas celebrations, but if nothing else, I can buy more yarn then from sales, because they do have good yarn sales right after Christmas usually. And in my opinion, the yarn sales after Christmas are better than Black Friday sales. Most of the time, at least. That's when I usually buy a bit more special yarn. Project is looking good, if I can say so myself. Yarn a bit. I had some back problems. Not back per se, maybe neck problems more. But after a day at work and some restocking stuff and carrying heavy stuff, it's gone. So Tone Junior, JR Junior, thank you for the follow. It's nice to have new people around. Even though I'm a bit lazy making videos, I try to push some content for your inspiration every now and then. I have my black yarn still attached, so I'm gonna cut it loose. And reattach at this end of the work. Hello! I am sitting in my office, which is in Ireland. Though office is a bit of a stretch, it's also my bedroom. Like I imagine most of us. Don't necessarily have an actual office. I wish I had though. I could buy so much more supplies if I had a bit more room, but I don't want to overcrowd the house. The house is too small, if you ask me. But the prices are so high at the moment that it's not even a dream. to have a bigger one. Is that a Christmas tree? Christmas is coming. I like Christmas. For our family, Christmas is like we enjoy peace and quiet, time off from work, time together, we play games, we eat so well. Christmas is the only time which I don't calculate the food bill, for example. I order just as many cheese as I want to. We eat fish, a lot of fish, different type of fish. And I don't care if it's expensive or not. That's just once a year. I want to have everything I like. And everything the family likes as well. And it's always been more about the food than presents. Food is king in our household. And that's gonna be 6 black ones at this point. Have to calculate because it's a new addition. We're gonna have a lot of black next round at this point. The strands of this black yarn like to separate a lot. I have to say I'm not a fan. Christmas is also the only time when I might, if I so admit myself, miss a little bit of the snow we had in Finland, but just a little bit. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yep, I'm from Finland. Originally, I've been in Ireland for years now, but I don't generally miss snow at all. But maybe it brings out the Christmas, the spirit of Christmas a little bit more if you have snow. Yep, that's it. I don't know how it is possible, but not everyone knows that Santa Claus is from Finland, which is actually a very weird concept for me, because of course, as a Finnish person, that's something that is just true. You don't question it in any way. Santa Claus is from Finland. But I've met people who think he's from Sweden, and a lot of people who think that Santa Claus in general is an American thing. But I've been to Santa Claus Village, which is in Finland. And also people like to contemplate if Santa Claus is real. And I can tell he is. It's a job for someone. The rest of it, of course. In Norway, think he's from the North Pole, but that's not true. He's from a place called Korvatunturi, which is in Finland. It's very north, but it's not in North Pole. Seven white ones. 2, 3. 5, 6, 7. I have a knot in my yarn. Let's fix that like that. I actually love the tales about Santa Claus, all the stories of Christmas and stuff. Back in Finland, we had these traditions that you watched a couple of Christmas shows from TV that came on every year on the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I think that was to distract the kids. I'm making Tapestry, so this one shows you the most of it. So it's gonna be a Fleetwood Mac logo or album cover, or that's their design. So that's what I'm doing. It's gonna replace a poster in my daughter's room. So it's a bit nicer than a paper poster, if you ask me. Not a fan of posters, but this is gonna be her Christmas gift, and that's why I'm trying to have it done so it is ready for Christmas. It's a lot of work, but it seems to be great, which means it's totally worth it. I truly like it. At the moment, it's looking like it's gonna be even better than I thought it would be. I have had my suspicions because it's the first one I'm doing a project like this. Of course, I've done crochet a lot, but nothing like this before, so I was a bit nervous about it. But so far so good, and we are almost halfway through, so I don't think it's gonna get any worse. You have any projects underway at the moment? Always looking for inspiration for the next project. Don't know if it makes any sense, but... Because I'm still like... I would say like 100 hours away of finishing this one. I used to say in my past lives that I do have a lot of time to do this, but now it seems like I'm still missing the deadline, but it is what it is. Luckily it's for family, so they just have to understand if it's ready after Christmas. Maybe small children's hoodie and hat. For someone you know, or just for sale? I love to do baby things because they are so small that they are already super fast. These things I make for teenager are never easy. They are always complicated and take a lot of time. Whether it's like clothing or like this one, interior pieces or other projects, they always have huge asks, which is fine. Just not a weekend project. Just for fun. Yeah, well, that's fine too. We mostly do this for fun anyway. I don't sell anything I make, but I see a lot of people do it. That's why I tend to ask. I'm so crazy that I make very crazy projects, such just for fun. Also test things just to see if the idea I have in my head is actually something doable. And that can also be something else than crochet, so... Yeah, that's the thing. Like I said previously, for example, this project, it takes so many hours that I should actually have a full month's salary to make it. So it takes so many hours that it would mean 1 month of full-time work. And even though it's pretty, I bet no one is willing to pay more than 2,000 euros for it. So there's no point. But I've seen some people make a business out of it, but maybe they sell more like patterns and stuff like that. You can do once and sell multiple times. But I also haven't made any patterns because I find that that's a whole nother monster to actually try to make a pattern that is understandable. And then you would have to find people willing to buy it as well, so I leave that to others, at least for now. Sometimes people ask me to do things, but when I tell them what it would cost, they back down. Which I completely understand as well. I would too. Especially in these times when you can, you know, have clothes so cheap from any store. I don't think that's a good way of buying clothes, but if you can have a sweater with 10 euros, it's hard to, even though it's completely justified, it might be hard to justify yourself that you're gonna buy one that will cost you like 200 or 300. And it's tight for people as well at the moment, so nobody has money. So what you gonna do? And I prefer not to buy anything if possible. I have way too much stuff already. I can hear my younger child arriving. Which was the point of ending the stream, so I will finish this. And then that will be it for today. And we'll be back, as I said, probably Sunday, if I don't pick up extra shift for that day too. Which I probably don't want to do because I'm already quite tired. I don't remember when I was last time worked so much, like in so many actual hours. little more black and white. This will be the main project we're gonna do in the live until it's done. I do feel like I was first thinking about having another project on today, but because I just, like, after Halloween, realized that the Christmas is actually coming, you know, the year is heading to its end, so I have to get this ready. Or I don't have to, but I want to. And therefore our main focus will be with this one for the rest of the year or before Christmas. I do have some Christmas stuff that I am testing out at the moment and we will be doing at some point, but perhaps I'm just gonna make a video out of those. They are very simple double crochet Christmas tree decoration, or not tree decorations, but decorations with Christmas trees in them that are gonna be our table runner dishcloth and some towels to have a little bit of Christmas spirit in the kitchen. I was about to do those last year, but I got distracted with other projects. Then we are probably gonna make some small Christmas trees, amigurumi style, to display in the mantelpiece. I had some plastic ones last year, but don't like them, so I want to replace them with something I've done myself. But that will be it for today. We got a lot done, and so we are closer to the end than we were when we started. So here we are. It's getting larger and larger. And it's pretty. I do have to say it's pretty, and I can't wait for it to be ready so I can post you some pictures of it so you can see it when it's done. And yep, that's about it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the comments, all the hearts, roses, and everything. I hope to see you all again and have a great